Hello, this is my level, and I've started off by adding little tutorials saying welcome and how the player can move around, also how they can control the direction they shoot and how they shoot. I have also set up multiple quests on the side, as you can see, and the first one at the bottom is practice your shooting by destroying all 9 of these boxes that are in the starting room. This is just to get the player used to the controls and how to aim properly before actually facing enemies, as most tutorial levels would get you to do. There we go, the last 2 boxes here. There we go. Now that is complete, the player can move on to the next stage. I've got a bit here just explaining that to try and complete all the quests if you can, and watch out for the enemies as they'll try and kill you. And on this one, it's just telling you to follow the paths as they'll guide you through the level. Sorry. I've tried to stick to the level design plan as much as I can, but there's been a few changes just due to what some problems that I faced. For example, I've added some enemies here as well, whereas before I just had them up at the top and I didn't have a checkpoint here. This right path leads you to a secret area, as I wanted to make multiple paths so that the player is not just forced one path all throughout the level, making it a bit boring and bland. I have also added an enemy round here just to surprise the player a little, just in case they're just shooting them up. There's also a checkpoint there as well, just in case the player dies in this next section. They won't have to start from the beginning. I've added a few enemies here. And I've used a variety of enemies as well, ranging from the rocket enemies, cannon enemies, and also the laser enemies. On this bit I've just added some pickups, and as you can see from the second quest where it says destroy all the hidden boxes, that was one of the boxes there as well. I've scattered a few around the map just so the player can explore and have a little fun really, so it's like a little mini game. On this bit there are some power-ups guarded by these rocket enemies as well, so the player will have to destroy these before picking these up. As you can see, when I picked up that repair tool, the green bar moved up, meaning that the player's got additional armor. Before I get back here, I've got to get this checkpoint as the other one would have been activated at the time. And I've also added a few more enemies around here that will start shooting the player. I've also added these signs as well just to direct the player on where to go. So it's not just let the player try and figure out where they're going by following the paths. Plus it gives a little, it just adds to the scene in the background. Like, just if the player just follows the path all the way around, they'll just be, just continue to the next section. I've also tried to add a few meshes such as walls, trees, bit of rubble, even some buildings on some parts, just to just so it's not all plain. Also, this is the section where I was going to make it a destructible barricades so that the player can shoot through to get through to the next bit. But I will have to figure that out later on. And if not, I'll just have to hide the entrance to it by adding some debris or anything like that. So this is another secret area that I've made. It's just a few enemies here, not too much, so it's not that hard to get through. And at the end of here, there's just ammo pickups as well, just to reward the player of finding this area. Plus, I'm thinking of rewarding the player for destroying all of the hidden boxes if they find them around the map, just like other games would. Like, I could give them extra armor, or extra ammo, or even just like a booster or anything like that. Anything that I can try and get working. As I said, they are scattered across the map, these boxes. For example, there's one behind here, so the player will have to really search every part of the level just to be able to try and find them. For example, like, there's multiple paths that I've made. Like this one here that breaks off, leads into another room with a few power-ups, but there's also a few enemies guarding them. I thought this would be a good idea because then the player will have to destroy the enemies before picking up the power-ups. And there are also these hidden boxes in here as well. So if the player misses out on this room, they'll also miss out on them hidden boxes. And there's also a lot of ammo just to help the player out a little. Up here, I've added like a little ramp section up here, which will lead to two big enemies here, two rocket ones, guarding pickups as well, so the player can either choose to kill them or just try and pick up the power-ups straight away. And also down here is the section where I wanted to try and make a ramp to get onto this other section that the player could not access without using the ramp, but I had a bit of complications, so I used this bridge bit and I used that bit as a ramp, as this bit you can see. And then the player lands on here and then they can explore this top bit and pick up ammo and also repair tools, as you can see from here. So now I've got full armor, as you can see, and now I can continue with the rest of the level. But as you can see, my armor and health do go down. It's because of the sometimes the bullets don't register when they hit the player. So if I press 3 on the keyboard, you can see my armor's starting to go down now, and then my health does as well. So my health and armor are working, and this section, I've added these enemies so they shoot lasers faster, and they have more health as they're like the security of this building. I've also added a checkpoint here, and there's a fast moving patrol enemy that'll try and shoot you. So you can either try and shoot it for extra points or just leave it. And there's more ammo up here as well. And in this little section to the right, there's a hidden box up here, one of the other hidden boxes. And there is an armor and ammo pickup down here. Now moving on to the last section of the level. Down here, I've also hid some pickups in the corners, just in case the player might see them or might miss them. In this section, I've added a patrol enemy and a stationary enemy, just so the player will have to focus on both of them at the same time rather than just one at each time. There's also another pickup, armor pickup. At this section, I've used some stationary enemies and some moving enemies as well. Just try and change it up a little so it's not always the same thing. For example, here, there's another box behind here as well, another hidden box. And there is also enemies here. There we go. Oh, there we go. Right, this is the last section here. And this is just a few more enemies. And this is the enemy that's guarding the door. Monster players here. This is the end zone and the end of the level. So that's my tutorial level. And yeah, that's it.